Welcome to BackPackTrack, the solo travel podcast for people who think one backpack is a lifestyle. So, here's the deal. Most travelers fall into two categories. First category, the planners. Organized, responsible, spreadsheet people. And then, there are people like me. I count myself a proud member of the I'll figure it out later group. And also the tribe of I'll just pack the night before and panic last minute afterwards. Yeah, that's me. I can just say I hate planning. And I really admire these people who plan everything ahead and are well organized. And I wish I could be like them. Because I really have to admit, sometimes it's kind of necessary. Especially when you just want to avoid any stressful situation. That's why I decided to create a list for you guys with 10 very important, or at least helpful, tips you should think about before entering the aircraft. And of course, I will start very basic, and you will probably know that. But the further I'm going, the further I talk about topics which are probably not as obvious. And also, there's one tip, I'm spoilering a little bit ahead, which is legally speaking a little bit of a gray area, so stay tuned. Okay, starting off super basic, check if your passport is valid long enough. And I know that's super obvious, but it happened within my family already. So most of the countries require that your passport is at least 6 months valid. And yeah. Our passports were valid for 5 months and I think something around 20 days, 25 days, I don't know. But it was just because of a few days. But it ended that we had to fly back. I mean, it was just one of our family members. And it was actually not me. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact. Anyways. Long story short, just check if your passport is valid long enough. Secondly, which is also kind of obvious, I'd say, is the visa. Get the right visa. And also check if something else is required, because I had the first mental breakdown before I even entered the plane when I was going to New Zealand. The thing was, I only printed my working holiday visa in paper form. You know, like, it's such a typical thing for Germans, I'd say, to print everything and put it in a folder. And so I went to the check-in, and then they were asking, but where's your e-visa? What? Yeah, your e-visa, your electronic visa, you need that, otherwise you cannot enter the plane. Huh? Oh my gosh, no, I don't know. Fuck. So I ended up panicking completely at the airport. And yeah, I got an email actually where it was said, hey, you have to fill out these forms that you get your e-visa. But I don't know why, but I never did it. I panicked. I did it at the airport, literally last minute. And this is really avoidable. Also, different countries require different visas. Just check it. We are already at the topic of checking things, so also check the necessary vaccinations for the country you're going to. Because again, different countries require different vaccinations. It's just mandatory. And you should think about that way ahead. Because for my first travel, I can remember I got 13 shots. And obviously, you cannot get 13 shots within one day and also not within 2 weeks. No, I think I started getting these vaccinations 3 months before I left the country. And let me tell you guys, after 13 vaccinations, my arm wasn't just sore. It was personally offended. I couldn't lift it, I couldn't sleep on it. And honestly, at that moment, I felt like I was collecting stamps, but not on my passport, but directly on my arm. Anyways, I felt prepared. I felt like, yeah, probably nothing will happen to me. And yeah, worth it. Another thing you should really plan ahead is what company you're choosing for your travel insurance. And I can tell you, it's necessary. Most of the travel insurance have also trip cancellations included, or when your luggage gets stolen. For example, for my travel insurance, I added the package that if I lose my glasses or if I break them accidentally, that they will replace it. I can just recommend go with the package that works best for you. If you want to have like some more add-ons like me with my glasses, for example, go for it. But go and get yourself the basic insurance. And fun fact, I always felt I will never get sick. I don't need a travel insurance, but whatever, I just get it. And yep, I got sick 3 times and I got really sick, so I needed to go to hospital and to the doctors. And guess what? It was good to have like an insurance who covered for all the expenses I had. A really obvious thing to think about before going on a plane is basically how you will actually deal with your money. If you bring credit cards, and here I really want to emphasize cards, because never just go with one. On my first trip for 1 year, I only had one credit card. That was the only money source I had, and that was stupid. I mean, I got lucky. Nothing happened. But I met a friend, and the ATM in Thailand just swallowed her credit card and she never got it back. So, just in case, go with 2 at least. Also, check if you get a credit card where the exchange rate is really low, or best case, there is none, because it really adds up. And let's be honest, the money can be spent in better ways. For example, another scoop of ice cream or another good drink, right? The next 2 tips I have for you guys, you can probably pack them in one, and they are also very, very obvious. Yeah, it's really not a secret. What is your communication setup? Do you get a real SIM card or do you try an eSIM? Just think about it. And honestly, for me, it was just super game-changing since my phone was able to handle eSIM, because you don't have the trouble of, where do I put my original card, and oh god, what happens if I lose it, and I don't have the tools to open my phone. So yeah, eSIM, really super useful. On the same turn, I also recommend bringing a power bank, because Google Maps uses a lot of battery, and once you get lost, well, and the thing is, you can ask for directions, of course, but if you're in a country where no one speaks English, good luck. Good luck. The past 6 tips were nothing new for most of all of you, I think. And I totally get it, but it's just good to just repeat it, I'd say. And now, I would start to share some, tips, which are not that obvious, I'd say. And let's start with a gray area legally speaking. And I'm talking here about fake return flights. Yeah. Because I know when you're traveling and you have no real plan, or you just don't want to plan everything ahead, and you just want to see how it feels like staying in the country, and you're not sure if it's like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or maybe also just a few days. Yeah, immigration does not like your spontaneous nature. They want to know, when are you leaving our country again? And yeah, again, the answer, when I find myself, is not acceptable. Long story short, you need to be prepared in advance. And I would not recommend spending money on real flight tickets so that you always have to take this flight, or you just, waste money. No. There are 2 options. The first option is actually to buy flexible flight tickets, or even refundable ones. But here the tricky point is, or just the fact, it's more expensive than the regular one. And that's an expense you can basically avoid. So here comes option 2, a flight reservation service. And that's what I'm saying, or that's what I mean when I talk about fake return flight tickets. Is it legal? Technically, yes. Is it sketchy? Also, yes. But yeah, you just need that sometimes, especially when you really don't know how long you want to stay in a country. And it works like that. There are like a few providers, and you just book the flight, and it's like a real reservation. Technically all correct. But the ticket will cancel itself within 48 hours. So you can just show immigration, here's the ticket, here's where I'm gonna go. And they're mostly satisfied. When you enter some countries, some don't even want to see that you have a flight back or to another country. But just in case, it's nice to have. And yeah, I think this service is sketchy, but it's really worth it. These flight reservation tickets usually cost around 16 to 20 bucks. It really depends. But here is how I would handle it. I never bought it myself because so far immigration never wanted to see like my connection flight. But in case, here's how I would deal with this service. As I said, I never bought it before, but if immigration would ask me, hey, where's your connection flight? I would just say, oh, sorry, I cannot find it at the moment. Can I just check it? I don't want to hold up the queue here. And then I would just go away, book the flight, and go back. And this works. I mean, I didn't do it myself, but I heard it from people I met through travels, and there was never a problem or any issue. Just in case, be prepared. Know that there are some organizations who provide these flight reservation services, and I know it's sketchy and it's like a gray area, but it just allows you to stay as flexible as possible. And for doing long solo travel backpack trips, that's exactly what you want. Flexibility. When it comes to water sources or the accessibility for water, I can totally recommend get a fucking bottle with a filter included. And here I just say, invest money. Don't buy the cheap stuff. Go for the expensive ones. And I know it feels like, but I never invested money any better. And honestly speaking, for most countries, you cannot drink tap water. You just can't. So you always have to buy at the supermarket water bottles. And actually, this is adding up. Because if you just think per average you drink 2 liters of water a day, yup, that's getting expensive too. I mean, not at the beginning, but at some point you will realize, ooh. And with this water bottle, I drink tap water everywhere because I can just filter it, and you avoid of being hospitalized because you trust some shady water sources. So really take the money and invest in a good filtered water bottle. And the best quote to say here is, stay hydrated. Okay, next, let's talk about the least glamorous and most overachieving item you should pack in your backpack. The microfiber towel. Is it soft? Nope. Does it feel like a warm hug after a long shower? Also, nope. It feels more like drying your body with a dinner napkin made out of sandpaper. I know, sounds really charming, right? And you really want to buy it now, but the thing is, it dries really fast, so you can always put it right away in your backpack. And is it nice and comfy? Nope. Does it make the job? Absolutely yes. I mean, it keeps you dry and it dries itself pretty fast, so that's all you want. And yeah, again, for some long time travels, you just give up some comfort. Speaking of comfort, here comes the last tip, which is also kind of obvious, but I still want to mention it. It's the weight of your backpack. Think about it before you enter the plane. You will have to carry your backpack all the time on your shoulders. So, if lifting your backpack makes you question your life choices, you pack too much. If you break a sweat before even leaving the hostel, you pack too much. And then, if you're blaming your microfiber towel for the weight you're carrying all the time, even though a microfiber towel weighs less than a banana, yeah, you definitely packed too much. Keep it simple. So anyways, yeah, I know, spontaneous travel sounds cool. It's a little bit like eat, pray, leave everything until the last minute. But trust me, a little prep can save you from some full-on breakdowns at the airport or at the country you're visiting. So just keep it simple, plan a little bit ahead. So basically saying, don't be as chaotic as I was and just enjoy the trip. So that's it. That's all I can say for today. And if you think I've missed some really important things, just let me know in the comment section below. Anyways, thanks for listening and see you next week.